Hello, everyone. I'm Al Grego, and this is the Yes, We Are Open podcast. Today, I'm back in Toronto, specifically in Greektown, also known as the Danforth on account of it being located on Danforth Avenue. It's the largest Greek neighborhood in North America and one of the most cosmopolitan areas in Toronto. In 1976, the area was sometimes referred to as Little Athens, with approximately 65,000 Greeks living in the vicinity. But more recently, the area has experienced a wave of gentrification as higher-priced bars and restaurants have moved in. Now, Greektown boasts one of the highest concentrations of restaurants per kilometer in the world. It's also one of Toronto's more famous neighborhoods, home of the Taste of the Danforth, an annual street festival that attracts up to 1.6 million people to the 2-kilometer stretch of street over a weekend of food, fun, and music. It's mentioned in the Bare Naked Ladies song The Old Apartment, and it was also where the film My Big Fat Greek Wedding was primarily shot, despite it being set in Chicago. So I wouldn't blame you for thinking this week's subject is one of those Greek restaurants, cafes, bakeries, or shops, but it isn't. In fact, in a few short steps, I'm going from Mediterranean to Caribbean to visit one of Greektown's newest residents, and this week's subject, SugarKane, Caribbean, and Cajun cuisine. I walk into a cool-looking dining room, lots to take in visually. From the various art pieces on display, to the brick-backed stage with sugarcane and yellow neon, to the island-inspired bar and kitchen across from a wonderful collage of Caribbean and Cajun-inspired imagery. The restaurant isn't open yet, but the staff are busily preparing for a Saturday evening dinner and show. The amazing smells from the kitchen are simultaneously making me hungry and taking me back to my last Caribbean vacation in Jamaica.
Hi. Renee?
Renee.
Mal.
How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Not too bad, good. Nice to meet you.
That's Renee. She, along with her twin sister Donna and their older sister Nicole, are the restaurant owners. Donna isn't in yet, so Renee, Nicole, and I sit at one of their tables for their interview.
Hi, I'm Renee, and I'm co-owner of SugarKane Restaurant.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I'm the co-owner of SugarKane Restaurant as well.
Okay, great. You guys are sisters.
Yes, we are.
And you have a third sister who's also a co-owner?
Yes, my twin sister Donna.
Right.
Donna.
Yeah.
So when did SugarKane open?
June of 2019.
All right, so a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
4 years. Gonna be 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be 4.
Let's talk about why a Jamaican or a Caribbean restaurant in Greektown. I mean, that seems...
I know. It always seems odd, but, the thing about it is Greektown is so... Everybody goes to Greektown for food, right? And there's a lot of families, there's date night, like a lot of... There's a lot of everybody. A lot of walking traffic.
Events here and things like that.
And what better way to stand out is by being a Caribbean restaurant right in the middle of Greektown.
You know what? That's perfect. You're right. You're kind of... Not the fish out of water, but yeah, everyone's here looking for Greek food.
Right.
Oh,
right. And it's becoming a little multicultural around here now too. And we were looking on the Danforth for like 2 years.
For a while, yeah.
So you specifically wanted.
We specifically wanted this area. Yeah.
Is that why? Is it because you grew up around here? Or?
No, we
Scarborough.
Yeah, we are from Scarborough, but just because of those reasons. There's so much walking traffic, and then love Greek people and Greek culture, and everybody is just so friendly, and even opening here, everybody was so warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we started with catering about 6-7 years ago. We started with catering. Originally, it started with my parents because they taught us how to cook, and we had family coming over to the house.
Our house was always a house.
Exactly.
Always a house. People would stop by, on the weekends, family, friends, whoever it is. They knew if they stopped by, they're getting a plate of food. My mom and dad would cook, a big pot of rice and peas, a big pot of whatever. And that was awesome.
So you guys are from Scarborough, born and raised?
We're born and raised in Scarborough, and our parents are from Trinidad and Grenada.
Yeah.
Okay. When did they come over?
God, in the 40s?
In the 40s.
Oh, right. So they've been here a while.
They've been here a while.
Yeah. And you guys were born here.
Born here, yeah.
In terms of running a restaurant, is this something you guys always wanted to do?
It was like a dream. Like, we always wanted to do it, but honestly, we just thought there's no way. How are we going to get the money? Who's going to give us like any money? Like, it's just not going to happen, which is why we kind of just started the catering. So, eventually, you know, we were like, it would be really, you know, it seemed like there was a possibility because people kept saying, you know, your food is amazing, everything, you know, your service is great and this and that. And we're thinking, maybe this could be a possibility.
In reality, we're like, yeah, maybe.
And then our parents were so gracious enough to be like, hey guys, here you go. You know, we believe in you guys and we know you guys are going to do a great job. And they're basically the ones that helped us fund.
So your parents were your investors?
Yes, they were.
So 7-8 years ago, so around 2015, you started with the catering?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, about that, right.
What sorts of events were you doing?
Oh my gosh.
Everything from baby showers to funerals to corporate dedications,
corporate
events.
Oh, yeah.
We would like cater sometimes, just the three of us, and we would cater for like
American Express,
600 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Out of your own kitchen?
Yeah.
At home?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Wow, that must have been fun.
I know. Sometimes we'll have to work it by like a 4x4 kitchen.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Come
you know,
on.
for like 100 people. And we're thinking, how is this even going to work? But we always end up getting the food out and yeah.
Amazing.
Make it work.
Was it called SugarKane from the beginning? Catering?
No, it's actually called Spike Punch.
Why Spike Punch?
No idea. It just seemed cool. And then we also had a signature spiked punch that we would offer to everybody. And we actually have it here now too at the restaurant, just in kind of ode to Spike Punch.
You can get it unspiked or spiked. Yeah.
Right.
Great. Well, I mean, catering is one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure you had to learn a lot to be successful caterer.
Right.
What did you know about running a restaurant?
Oh my gosh, like pretty much next to nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, we knew some things. We knew what we wanted. We're very practical, and people seem to think all the time that we just know what we're doing. Right. I guess we seem to have that flow with us or whatever. But we honestly
know it.
Yeah. But we did a lot of research as well too. We did a lot of research, and we have a lot of people that we know that are restaurant owners. Right. Okay. So and we're always learning. We're always trying to teach ourselves and learn, because right now, just with SugarKane right now, we're still learning.
And the thing about it is, we're not even we didn't go to school for culinary, like cooking or anything like that.
No.
Like Nicole was in business, I was in social work, and my twin Donna was in automotive. So we were in totally different paths.
Yeah,
completely different
paths.
Right.
Amazing.
It comes back to our parents. They're the ones that, like I said, have been just so supportive, and they're the ones that like basically taught us. Like, we'd come home and we'd be like, Dad, like, we're always on diets. You know, teenagers, we're always like, oh, I'm on a diet. And then we come home and my dad has like jerk fish, and we're like, why are you serious? Then there's jerk potatoes. He jerk freaking everything in. Like,
everything.
I mean,
and he fried a lot of stuff.
He fried a lot of stuff. Oh, it was just, it's a whole lot. Like, I mean, but like, they were literally the inspiration behind all of it.
I'm the girl's mom. My name is Florence. I come down every Saturday
to see the music,
to see, and you know, and if there's anything special on during the week, they'll bring me down.
Excellent.
I worked at WSIB, Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, most of the time, and a couple other companies before that. You know, I did a lot of cooking at home, and you know, people would come in and eat and drink and enjoy, you know, the food. And my husband, well, he passed, but he did a lot of cooking too. You know.
So everyone in the house cooked.
Oh yeah. Everybody loved cooking.
Yeah. So when the girls started their catering company. You know, what did you think? Were you happy to see them?
Yeah, I was so happy. I was so happy to see them, you know, because they used to cook at home and people would come and collect the food and things. So then when they decided to get into the restaurant business, that's when I thought, geez. And I knew their father would have been so proud of them. He passed, but he would have been, you know. Okay. So I encouraged them. Yeah. Yeah. And whatever I can afford and help, sure. Yeah. Take my credit cards. Go.
First thing was finding a location and narrowing that down, and we finally found this spot in Greektown. And honestly, it was such a whirlwind that I like every time I think about like that beginning of actually getting the keys and everything else, it just seemed like such a risk. Like, you know, like we had to have the money down and this down and sign this paper and sign. Like, we were signing our lives away. It felt like, you know.
Nicole was calling us and we're like, this is really happening. My sister Dawn and I were just like, we're in the basement. We're like, we're like shaking. We're like, is this really happening?
Is this really happening?
Like, I don't know. I'm scared. We were super scared.
It was pretty scary.
Nicole, are you the owner?
Yes, I am.
And so were you kind of driving this?
I did, honestly. I think, I mean, as scared as I was pretty much the one that was like kind of pushing forward for everything and, you know, trying to kind of guide them.
If it wasn't for her pushing, So
in the beginning, were the three of you working in the kitchen, or did you hire?
Oh gosh, no. That was the one thing we did agree on, is that none of us wanted to work in the kitchen. We've been doing it for so long.
Sure. Yeah.
We were just like, okay, we just need to literally find chefs that we're gonna say, hey, here's our recipes, here's how we do it. We don't even know how to put it nicely on the plate, but that's where you come in. And so honestly, the chefs that we've had come through, they literally, it's just like our hands made it and put it through, or we should say our parents' hands made it and put it through. And then they also make it look beautiful, right? Which is what we could never really do.
Do you know what this place was before you guys took it over?
Nacho bar.
A nacho bar.
Okay. So the kitchen was already here, I guess.
All right. It was a crazy looking kitchen. This place was more like a frat house. That's what it was. It was younger guys, and they had like literally had bras hanging from the ceiling. Like it was that kind of place. But we wanted to really make it our own, and we were like, if we're gonna do this, we're putting some money into it, and we did. We hired some designers, and they kind of, you know, asked us what we were looking for. And
I love the collage.
She did this. That's project. Nicole's project.
All the nice thing downstairs.
Yes.
I love the stage. Did you always think you're going to have live music?
The one thing we said is that we got to have a stage, because prior to this, we had a show called Rock the Mic. Okay. And we showcased Toronto talent.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was one of our...
We're huge about Toronto talent. We're very big supporters. We love music and... we had to. That was no question. There's not going to be any restaurant without any music. Yeah.
And what kind of music do you predominantly feature? Caribbean music, I guess.
It's a little bit of everything. It's Caribbean. It's R&B. It's jazz. It's New Orleans style bands. It's a little bit of, as long as it's music and it's from Toronto, we're here.
So like local,
100%. Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, it would be nice to have some international people come through, but honestly, it's there for...
You know, Drake and The Weeknd are also local.
Hell yeah, exactly. Right.
I mean, it also kind of looks a bit like, with the brick wall, it looks like it could be a comedy.
Yes, it does. I would love to, like, I mean, I would like to stand up there and do comedy. May not have any people coming through, but I would love, like, we were thinking about
have asked us about it.
So right.
We're still thinking about it. Maybe cool. Thursday nights or something.
Yeah. Were you busy right away?
Yeah, I mean, the weekends probably.
Yeah.
During the week, no. Like from Tuesday to Thursday, it was pretty dead. Sunday even pretty dead. Yeah. So it was just. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. So it was just more about continuing to put ourselves out there, and actually the people that came here, they're the ones that are taking pictures and posting. I went to this amazing restaurant, and that's what was kind of fueling other people to come through. So
especially by Blacks, they came and they had a whole we got an award, right?
Yes.
2019? Was it in 2019
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
the fact that you can't remember when you got an award. You guys are just so used to winning all the awards.
We have a couple of them.
We got a couple of them.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody had nice things to say. People just didn't know who we were or where we were.
Right.
So it was just all about just promoting and marketing and whatnot. So, you know, it was well received, but nobody really knew.
Yeah. A lot of people were like very thankful. They're like, thank you guys for coming here. Like, thank you. Like,
for having something a little different.
Yeah, I can imagine. I love Greek food.
Me too.
It would be nice to have a little bit,
something different.
Like, I did a little bit of research and I checked out your website, and I really, really admire and appreciate that you basically have all of your employees listed on your site.
Oh my gosh!
Kind of like your company, and here's my staff.
Like, oh my gosh! Because without everybody here, like we wouldn't be where we are. Like, I mean, each and every one of them have been so dedicated and worked so hard, especially going through this whole pandemic and everything else. Like everybody's just like everyone, like people say all the time, like family. It truly is. It truly is.
When would you say you hit your stride in terms of being busy enough where you're like, oh, this is working. We're actually running a business and it's being successful.
After the pandemic.
After the pandemic.
Yeah, after. Before the pandemic, we were still kind of like, we're over here, come and visit, you know? And we didn't have Uber Eats, so we weren't on them because we wanted people to actually come into the restaurant and experience, you know, SugarKane. So, yeah, it wasn't until after.
Oh, okay.
Up next, the Charles sisters, Nicole, Renée, and Donna, realized their dream of opening their own restaurant in 2019. But with little to no experience running a restaurant, and less than a year to make a name for themselves in the heart of Greektown before the pandemic hits, will they be able to keep their dream alive? Stay tuned to find out. You're listening to Yes, We Are Open. If there's one thing that Nicole, Renée, and Donna Charles know how to do, it's cook. Having learned at a young age from both their parents, it seemed inevitable that they would eventually find themselves running a successful catering business from their home. When that wasn't enough, they looked to open their own restaurant with their mother, Florence, as their investor. It's a true family affair, but will all the familial love and support be enough to survive the biggest threat ever to the restaurant industry? Let's find out.
So let's talk about COVID, because I mean, you're in an industry that got severely impacted by the pandemic, obviously with all the shutdowns. Now, my memory is March 13th, Friday the 13th of 2020.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Is when everything kind of shut down. Now, that means you guys were in business, 9 months maybe?
About that.
Yeah. Just 9 months,
And you're trying to grow and trying to make a name, and then suddenly, boom, you can't open your doors to anyone.
Exactly.
How did you feel?
We were like scared. We just got back from New Orleans on a trip, and then exactly the day we got back, and then everything kind of shut down.
Right. So go ahead. We were scared as hell because number one, we were thinking, okay, we have to shut down. We have to let go of all of our employees. Don't know if we're going to see them again because, like, really, they could find other.
Well, just before that, because we try to make it. We try to get onto the delivery apps and everything. So we try to make it work, and it lasted for about a month, but it just wasn't working.
Right.
We weren't getting any sales or anything like that. So we suggested, let's
just shut down.
And we didn't have enough of a previous client.
No, right. We didn't. Like, nobody knew that we were even on that thing or we even existed.
Yeah.
So we ended up just saying, okay, look, let's just shut down and listen to the news and figure out like what the government is going to do to help these businesses. And those 2 months that we were there at home, like we're in our pajamas and we're like calling each other, we're like, guys, what are we going to do? We're crying. And it's just because we put so much. I mean, we put so much into the restaurant,
not knowing if we're gonna open back up, and not knowing if we're gonna get our employees back and things like that. So it was very scary.
Exactly.
It was tough. That was tough. But I said, it's not gonna last forever. So things will get better and we'll get back.
One of the struggles besides the pandemic that we had when opening the restaurant is that we weren't taken seriously. Even when we came to look at this place, there was another guy ahead of us that was looking at it, and they addressed him, they talked to him, they showed him around and everything like that. And we're like, hey, we're just standing here, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So
it was like I can't even believe we forgot about that. Yeah, like it was really weird. I mean, like the guy came, he gave him the world, like the grand tour of the entire restaurant, and we were both standing out there and barely said hi to us. And then finally, after he gave him the tour and walked him out, we were like, oh, he's like, do you want to take a look? And we're like, of course. And he's like, go ahead. So he didn't give us the tour. We had to tour ourselves, So we kind of went and looked around, and we're like, guys, I think this is going to work here. And then he was like, okay, you guys done? Wrap it up. Okay. And that was it.
He didn't take you seriously?
Oh, no, not at all.
So did you have that Pretty Woman moment when you came in and said, we're ready to find a place?
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly that. No, I mean, we've honestly struggled with that. I mean, I don't want to say we've struggled, but we've had experiences like that throughout our catering history and whatnot. They see us, and I mean, I'm not going to say we look super young, but I mean, they think we're all these young chicks, you know, they're coming around doing stuff.
I've been patted on my head. Oh,
you guys are so professional.
And things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's
like literally patted.
Literally.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's been crazy. You know, I mean, there's racism, there is sexism, there's a little bit of both. And we've experienced it here, unfortunately, at the restaurant as well, too. But, you know, it just kind of fuels us, thank God. Like, we're just like, okay, whatever, slap it, you know, wave it off and just keep going.
Success is the best payback, right?
It is, 100%.
When were you able to start having business again? I mean, because it was a while, even after the lockdown ended, there were still restrictions to how many people could
Yes,
here.
exactly. So all of that was, and then you couldn't even open up to let anybody else come in unless you had specific, protections inside. So we had to get the plexiglasses and of course a sanitizer and everything else. And we reopened, and I always remember it being like a Wednesday or something like that, right?
Well, we reopened because the government was providing subsidies for the employees and for the rent.
Right. So we said, okay, that will encourage us to open us.
So we're like, okay, let's try this. Let's try this one more time.
Right. And we ended up reopening. And around that same time, the whole world is looking at this, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement happening and everything else. And I remember I wasn't working that Wednesday. Renee and Donna were working, and Wednesday is typically, again, Wednesday is not very busy, and they opened the doors, and I remember them calling me, and they're like, Nicole, it's so busy. It's like, oh my gosh, there's like a line down the street, and I was like, are you kidding?
The whole support of the black businesses.
Restaurants,
so people were supporting a lot of black businesses. So, like, the next, like, that day.
And you're probably one of the few on this street.
Right, exactly.
Like, well, there's one over there.
Wow.
So it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember you guys calling me. And
so for that whole week, even our chefs were like, okay, we had to reorganize because we were getting yelled at because we were waiting 40 minutes for their stuff and all that stuff.
So we weren't expecting any, like, maybe 10 customers for the day or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was crazy. And honestly, since that day, the ball was rolling. And we ended up being approached by American Express to do an American Express commercial.
And the billboard.
The billboard. We had our own billboard of us on Young and Dundas Square. We were on breakfast television, City Line. Like, I mean, it's just been.
Well, and now you're on Yes, You Were Open.
Yes, exactly.
When were you able to fully open with zero restrictions again? When was that? Last year? 2022?
I think it was last year. Yeah, last year. Yeah, that with no restrictions, everything.
Right. Last year. That was last year.
And you said basically you got really busy then because...
Oh, yeah, we were busy right off the bat. That's when we started noticing our weekends, especially because we have the live music and everything else, that being booked up like sometimes like a week in advance, and now... And it was just getting busier and busier, and there's the lines at the door again, and it was awesome. Yeah.
They are busy. Sometimes I stay here and I look at people outside trying to get in. They can't get in.
Yeah.
No room.
Yes. May need a bigger space.
A bigger space.
Check it out. Now, this street here is pretty famous for Taste of Danforth, obviously, every year. Was it in August, right?
Yeah. Yes, August.
Week.
Yeah.
The street shuts down, and it's a massive street festival
with
food and entertainment. I used to love coming down here.
Same here.
For that festival. I imagine it probably didn't happen that first year. Did it happen the second?
It happened the first year.
Did it?
Yeah. But we had just opened, and we were still like we weren't able to.
That was in 2019.
Yeah, we had just opened.
We had missed the deadline. We didn't even know when the deadline. So when we opened, they came by and they're like, "Look, you are a little bit too late to join now, but you can kind of sell food from out of your window."
Does it stop at pay?
No, we're right all the way.
You're
yeah,
all the way.
Because one of the biggest things is over there in Athens. Right.
So it did run in 2020.
No, it didn't.
No.
That was when, because after early 2020 is when the pandemic hit, so it was done up until
now.
This year.
This year was the first year.
This is the first year.
It's
coming back.
To it,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it was a disappointment. Sorry.
Yeah, it was such a disappointment when we couldn't have it last year because everybody was expecting it for it to happen, and the excuses were crazy, and all the other festivals in the city were going on and reopening, and except for Tasting Danforth. Yeah. So it was a bummer. Yeah, big time.
I think you guys will do pretty well this year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We're looking forward to it.
This year we're going big, and we're gonna have some fun. We've been using Moneris for years.
Even with our old business, we've been using Moneris. Yeah. So I love Moneris. I trust it. Customer service is always on point. So I have no problem with it. So that's why we went with Moneris, because we trusted it with our other businesses. Yeah.
Up next, we find out what the future holds for SugarKane.
Success in business doesn't come without moments of struggle. Moments when you had to face your challenges head on. As the proud partner of Canadian business, Moneris plays a critical role in empowering businesses with the payment processing tools they need to succeed. Together, we are building stronger businesses where business owners everywhere can stand up to their challenges without slowing down. Moneris, proud partner of Canadian business.
Welcome back to Yes, We Are Open. Nicole, Renee, and Donna Charles have just gone through the biggest challenge to the restaurant SugarKane and live to tell about it. Now, business is booming and reservations are filling up weeks in advance. So what does the future hold for SugarKane? Let's find out.
All right, you guys came out of this pandemic busier than ever, apparently.
Yes.
So that's amazing, and you're looking forward to Tasting the Danforth for the first time in 2 years. What does the future look like for SugarKane?
Well, we're hoping to have another location.
Yeah.
3 would be awesome, but we'll settle for another one for now. But we would love to have another location. We can't wait to start our brunch immediately, which is everybody's been looking for that. Hopefully for Sunday brunches, and maybe even expand it to Saturday and Sunday brunches. But those are the things that we're kind of looking for and we're excited about.
Yeah. What would it be in the city? The other location?
Oh yeah, it would definitely be in the city, but just maybe West End. Everybody that comes here, they're like, okay, you guys got to come east. Oh, you guys got to come to Brampton. Oh, Niagara Falls. And we're like, we have no idea. But, we're getting a little older. We don't want to be traveling everywhere like crazy.
But what I would love to have is a rooftop patio. If you can get that, I would love that.
Yes, 100%.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Expansion, franchises. Is that what you're thinking, franchising? What about for you two personally? Nikki, I'll start with you. Mm-hmm. What do you hope for your future with SugarKane?
Well, for me, honestly, to be able to not have to come in and bartend and jump in the kitchen all the time, and to honestly to come by and just my responsibility would be just talking to the customers and seeing how they're doing. That's the dream. That's the dream, and to get a really, really nice paycheck every week.
You've been able to pay your parents back?
Yeah, it's going to take a little time. Yeah.
You're on your way. You're on your way. That's amazing. Renee, what about you?
Myself, it's also to the franchise, not to have to be here all the time. Right. Just be able to come in and checking things out. Like I do the HR stuff and everything, and so it's good to have someone to hire someone that can handle that,
right?
Like that. So just to be a little bit more laid back and watch it grow.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what your daughters have accomplished here?
Oh, I'm so proud of them. I am so proud of them because they all got together and decided this is what they wanted to do. They said, Mom and Dad used to cook, and they taught us how to cook, so we can carry on a business like that. We used to do it from home. People used to come and pick up food. So when they said they wanted to open the restaurant, I said, I'm behind you.
Seeing what you've built here, how do you feel? How does it feel?
My gosh, honestly, we sometimes we come in here and okay, now I'm tearing up like an idiot. But no, we come in here sometimes and we're like, oh my god, you guys, we look at the room and it's filled, and people are sitting and they're eating and they're talking and they're laughing and they're having a good time, and we're like, it's so surreal.
We would be catering in a room or whatever, and we see a boardroom, we go in there and we're like pretending that we're like the boardroom. We're like Charles, and we're like this is like we imagined that we would have a restaurant where it's like all these people, you know, just all different kinds of people,
that we said that
music,
we wanted,
live music, and the vibe and everything, and we got exactly
every time we get feedback from people, it means the world. Honestly, like that's one of my favorite things to do is to come here and talk to the customers, and they're like, oh my god, the vibe in here, it's just so, and we're like, this is exactly what we wanted, exactly that. So we're super proud, and like we know my dad is kind of shining on us. We feel him here all the time. And my mom, just this morning, she's like, your father would be so proud of you guys. Just this morning, she said that.
Nikki and Renee, is SugarKane open?
Yes, we're open.
That's the story of SugarKane. The restaurant business is a tough business under the best of circumstances, even in the hands of the most experienced owner. The fact that Nicole, Renee, and Donna, with their limited experience, were able to weather the storm of the pandemic and are now thriving speaks more to their character and the strength of their family dynamic than anything else. The Charles sisters and their mother have such a positive vibe around them. They're quick to laugh, and their positivity and excitement is both authentic and infectious. I suspect it would be impossible to be in a bad mood in their presence. And who wouldn't want to be around that kind of energy? You combine that with some of the most delicious food, and you've got a winner, and the reason why I think SugarKane and the Charles family have a bright future. Oh, and by the way, I tried the spike punch, and let me tell you, it tasted like vacation on a cool and drizzly Saturday evening in Greektown. A taste of a Caribbean island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Confusing, I know, but delicious nonetheless. Yes, We Were Open is a Moneris podcast production. I'd like to thank Florence, Nicole, Renee, and Donna for taking the time to share their story. You can learn more about SugarKane at sugarkanerestaurant.ca. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at SugarKane Restaurant, and on Twitter, they're at SugarKaneTO. For more information about this podcast, visit our site, yeswewereopenpodcast.com. If you'd like to support us, please write us a review on Apple Podcasts or rate us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a Canadian small business owner or know of one with an interesting story of perseverance to tell, I'd love to help tell it. You can contact me at podcast@moneris.com. Tune in next week for the Season 4 finale, featuring another story of small business struggle and survival on the Yes We Are Open podcast. I'm Al Grego. Thank you for listening.